As part of We the People, celebrating 250 years, here's This Day in History.
Welcome back. As we count down to America's 250th birthday this summer, we're sharing our We the People series.
It's about the people, places, and things of the past that have shaped our country into what it is today. Here's Charlie Shortino with This Day in History.
Hello again. On this day, May 17th, back in 1939, NBC aired the first televised U.S. sports event, a college baseball game between Princeton and Columbia. A single TV camera perched precariously on a wooden stand overlooking the stadium broadcast the contest throughout the United States over the network's experimental station, W2XBS. Fewer than 400 television sets were in use at the time, and there were no network facilities. Princeton won the first game 8-6, but the televised half of the doubleheader was much more exciting. The Lions' Hector Dowd pitched the entire 10-inning contest that Princeton eventually won 2-1. NBC must have been satisfied with its experiment because later that summer it aired the first Major League Baseball game. A few months later, the first college football game aired. That's This Day in History for May 17th. For We the People, I'm Charlie Shortino.
Well, coming up next.